Let...
You... Then the idea shall be claimed. Its shape...
No, I won't.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
The strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally felt safe. No longer bound to Camelot or the Knights of the Round Table, it became a land ruled by its own people on its own terms. Because of you, the men here remained and the Kuanacht endured, not just as a place, but as a legacy of quiet defiance and hope. Lord Yvain was remembered as a hero who gathered the wise and set out in search of the Grail, while Kuanacht stood as a peaceful haven amid the weirdness. You awakened the giants, only to command their end, leaving no power behind for either side to claim. Without their strength, the balance held, but the divide between Camelot and the Dal Rita remained, wide, bitter, and far from settled. Firgas was named the new Galahad the Loyal. With One Eye and Brandon unable to rally the Dal Rita of the Forlorn Swords, the South remained divided. Firgas prepared Camelot's forces to reclaim the region by strength, determined to restore unity through conquest if necessary. The captain led the South to independence, breaking all ties with Camelot. Under his rule, the Horns of the South flourished. Merchants, pilgrims, and adventurers returned to the roads, and prosperity once again reached the far corners of the land. One Eye ruled the South with the Horns of the South at his side. The Dal Rita, the Forlorn Swords, remained divided, leaving the South strong but isolated. Without wider unity, his rule endured for a time. The future beyond his leadership remained uncertain. Nianta left Kuanacht with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Magot left Kuanacht alongside Yvain, surprising many who had long considered him harmless and weak. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. With Frail as their new matron, the Vulka pulled even further away from the Dal Rita. Hidden among the snowy peaks, they focused on rebuilding their tribe and strengthening their numbers. The berserkers they had once been famed for became fewer and fewer, until all that was left was a fading name, half remembered and half feared. Ingrid turned away from the eternal sleep, choosing life over dreams. In time, she began to rebuild the Thoid among the living, planting the first seeds of a new future for her scattered people. Under Stronar's leadership, the Ulfra found new strength. He rebuilt the tribe and reunited them with the rest of the Dal Rita, restoring their place among the tribes of the Forlorn Swords. With the Stagfather slain and the old bonds broken, Balaam led the Svein towards a new path. He opened the tribe to the other clans of the Dal Rita and guided them to settle in the Mather mines. You placed self at the head of the Children of Morrigan. Operating from the shadows, the Guild reshaped Avalon's politics through quiet influence and assassination, while the people lived unaware of the power that ruled them. You chose to dismantle the Children of Morrigan. There were no more crows to carry out her will, for now. Morrigan withdrew into silence, patient as ever, waiting for the day when new souls would rise to serve her again. You made a pact with the Four-Dwellers, freeing them only once they agreed to leave behind their knowledge. One was lost to madness, but another fulfilled the promise, placing a stone woven with the song at the feet of the Stone Wardens. Through it, the craft survived into a new age. When your unfaithfulness came to light, Elisa left with a broken heart. In time, her craft and style gained recognition, and she built an independent life, known for her work across Avalon. After your betrayal, Bior left without a word. He swore never to fall in love again, growing old and bitter, much like his former master, Erfur. After returning to Camelot, Killian lived quietly for a time. When he vanished, few asked questions. Unsettling rumors had always followed him, and most preferred not to remember. Proud of her newfound ability to fly, Muriel returned to Tuathan to deliver her report. The Four-Dwellers, seeing that she had survived and been treated with care, took it as a rare sign of hope, that perhaps, at last, humanity might be ready for dialogue. O Queen Cinnamon Sage never forgot the bond he shared with you. Proud of the path you chose, he built a small shop near your grave, and in quiet moments, still spoke to you as he once did. A friend loyal beyond the bounds of life.
Having fun, are we?
You care. Now you stand. I am. I do not. I do. You now. He. You. You. You will be. You will. Then the prince will ascend and return to his mother. The heart shall cease its bleeding. Through his ascension, the weirdness will be tamed.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
You uncovered the truth buried in the weirdness and used it to return Arthur to where he truly belonged, ending the cycle and securing Avalon's future. The Four-Dweller Mother's heart, no longer bleeding, sealed the wound in the world, and with it, ended the Red Death that had stolen so many lives. And so, the legend of King Arthur began to fade. In its place grew a stronger Avalon, where the weirdness was no longer feared, but understood. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally... Feargas was named the new... Nianta left Kuan. Ailey turned to the merchants for support. With Freya as... You placed self at the... When you're on...
Always a pleasure to see you.
You care... I do... You now. You... You... Then the idea shall develop, its shape, but the soul is not yet yours to...
If this...
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 6 I...
You gave the soul to another, not to escape its weight, but because you believed they could carry it. One person, chosen by you, to bear the burden and to shape what comes next. Whatever future rises from their rule will bear your seal, for it was your will that set it in motion. Seeing Arthur's power carried by another, you were prepared for your demise. And yet, death did not come. The prophet Kai saw you, knew you, and named a fate few could claim. A life spared when all should have been lost. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Magnus. Believed Avalon could be saved. With the fleet sealed by Merlin